Hundreds of U.S. sailors floated in the Pacific Ocean, clinging to debris. Their ship had vanished beneath them, but that was only the beginning. For 5 days, they faced dehydration, hallucinations, and circling sharks, until most of them were gone. In today's video, we uncover one of the most horrifying naval disasters in U.S. history, the sinking of the USS Indianapolis in July 1945. But what happened after the ship went down is what truly haunts survivors to this day. It became the deadliest shark attack ever recorded and a catastrophic failure of the Navy's chain of command. The USS Indianapolis had just completed a top-secret mission, delivering parts of the atomic bomb that would later be dropped on Hiroshima. But after the mission, the cruiser was left to travel unescorted through hostile waters. On July 30th, a Japanese submarine torpedoed the ship, splitting it in half. Of the 1,196 men aboard, around 900 survived the initial explosion. But with no SOS sent, no rescue mission launched, and no one realizing the ship was missing, the real nightmare began. The men floated in the open ocean for 5 days. They had no food, no water, and no protection from the blistering sun. Some began to hallucinate. Others drank salt water and went mad. But the greatest threat came from below. Oceanic white-tip sharks circled constantly. Survivors described how they would drag off the wounded, the isolated, or the unconscious, right before their eyes. At night, screams would pierce the darkness, and by morning, fewer men remained. Every splash could be death. Every hour brought a new horror. All the while, the U.S. Navy had no idea they were gone. By the time a passing plane accidentally spotted survivors on August 2nd, 5 days after the sinking, only 316 men were still alive. Nearly 600 had died in the water, some from dehydration, some from exhaustion, but many from the sharks. One sailor said, "They were everywhere. You'd see a man 1 second, then see the water turn red." It remains the deadliest shark attack in recorded history. The Navy came under heavy scrutiny after the incident. Captain Charles McVay, who survived, was controversially court-martialed, even though he had followed protocol. Decades later, his name was cleared, but the guilt haunted him. In 1968, he took his own life. In 2000, President Clinton signed legislation exonerating Captain McVay, acknowledging that the real failure had been systemic: lack of communication, delayed rescue, and ignored warnings. The sinking of the USS Indianapolis wasn't just a wartime tragedy, it was a story of abandonment, heroism, and survival against unimaginable odds. And for the families who waited for sailors who never returned, it was a silence that lasted a lifetime. If this story shook you like it did us, the silence, the sharks, the systemic failure, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into history's darkest corners. Now we want to hear from you. Was Captain McVay unfairly blamed? Or should someone always be held accountable when lives are lost? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.